On behalf of the Board of Directors and investors and the wonderful staff I have the pleasure of working with, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this morning's breakfast. My name is Rick Dickinson, and I have the pleasure of serving as the President of Greater Dubuque Development Corporation. And this morning we're going to talk about one of the greatest challenges we face as a community, and that is how do we find the talent necessary for your employers to be successful? How do we find our neighbors and friends who will be with us for the next generation to make sure that this community continues to grow? We are fortunate to have a number of elected officials with us this morning that are helping us in that mission. I'd just like to acknowledge them. They may not be here yet, but I'm sure they'll be joining us, and others that are not able to be with us send their best wishes, and we thank them for their work. I know we have Councilman David Resnick. David, thank you for joining us. City Manager Mike Van Milligan. Great, thanks, Mike. Assistant City Manager Corey Burbach. Maurice Jones, Community Economic Development Director, will be joining us. I don't see Maurice yet. Dr. Wee, who is a tremendous partner in all things we do in regard to workforce development. Dr. Wee, thank you for being here, and thank you for what you do. From the state of Iowa, I know Senator Todd Bowman. Where you at, Senator? Thank you for joining us. And no, they are not in session today. He's not playing hooky. But I wish they were in session putting something together. But thanks for all you do, Senator. Representative Shannon Lundgren will be joining us. I didn't see Shannon in yet, but thanks to her work. I'd like to briefly introduce our staff who is with us today. You'll be hearing more from Kristen Dietzel, Emily Graves, our Director of Communications, Ed Raber, our newest addition to Greater Dubuque Development. Ed, stand up, they don't know you. Ed joined us April 1st. His primary mission is our principal in regard to all things related to finding Dubuque's true north, and you're going to be hearing more about that. We're really pleased to have Ed with us heading that initiative up. Anna Rolling, our Workforce Solutions Coordinator, you'll be hearing a little more about from Kristen, and folks at Rob Apple, who works with Dan McDonald, our Vice President of Business Retention and Expansion. Dan is not with us this morning. He actually has a rare day of vacation, and we thank him for his work. And also Bill Baum works with Rob and Dan and working with existing business to make sure we understand what's going on in your world. And Jana Berlino, the voice of our organization, who's working the front table, who helps us in all things. Also, we have community guide tours, community guides with us to provide tours to newcomers in our community. Nelson Clevitter is with us today, and Renee Meyer, who's at the table with us in the front, and also Chris Apple, who is not able to be with us. Those three folks do a tremendous service. I'd also like to acknowledge our team at the Telegraph Herald, which is a tremendous partner in all things we do. Yes, we partner with AccessDubuqueJobs.com, but it's much deeper than that. And we'd like to thank them for their assistance. That team includes Joan Schuster, Joan here, yeah, hi Joan, Cindy Olson, and hi Cindy, Mike Fortman, who you'll be hearing from. I'd also like to thank Tom Woodward, who is, of course, CEO of Woodward Communications. He serves on the Board of Directors of Greater Dubuque Development and the Exec Board of Greater Dubuque Development, and we'd like to thank him and the entire team of the TH for all they do for this community and for workforce in particular. This morning we're going to hear from Kristen Dietzel, and she's going to share with you some hard truths. What a way to start a day. But she knows that you understand these hard truths every day. That's your life and working with them. Now, the people you're trying to hire may not understand the environment. The people you work for may not necessarily understand the difficulty of the environment, but we know through you. Kristen will be sharing with you those truths, but the great news, the Greater Dubuque Development Corporation and in the city of Dubuque, we also have solutions. And isn't that the difference about success or failure? Is understanding the problem, but also identifying solutions to those problems. And Kristen will be sharing that with you. I can't express well enough how fortunate we are at Greater Dubuque Development to have the staff that we have. I've been here on June 1st, it'll be 23 years. We've never been deeper and stronger than we are today, and it's thanks to the collaboration and support that you give us. And amongst that tremendous staff is represented today, Vice President of Workforce Solutions, Kristen Diesel. Kristen, come on.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks everyone for being here. We've definitely broken a record with this crowd today, which is just a testament to your dedication to confronting what is a really big challenge for our community, and that is attracting and retaining workforce. Before we jump into the presentation, I'd just like to officially introduce you to Anna Rolling. Anna, if you wave to everybody. Anna was only our newest colleague for about a month before Ed joined our team. So many of you have probably already had the pleasure of working with Anna since she joined us March 1st as our Workforce Solutions Coordinator. In her role, Anna will facilitate our concierge services for newcomers and lead our recruitment efforts. She will also work closely with me on support for access to DubuqueJobs.com and our HR Action Program. Anna is a Loras College graduate and comes to us from Ike Bailey with experience in recruiting, human resources, and office management. So she's been a great asset to our team and a great asset to me, and I look forward to her working with all of you as well. So as Rick said, I don't have to tell you a lot about the challenges we face locally when it comes to workforce. Many of you are living them every day. You talk to me about them. We know the challenge has not gotten easier. Some months it feels easier, and then some months it feels harder again. I can say, however, that we are not unique as a community in the challenges we're facing right now. We're part of a macro regional landscape right now that's really affecting all of the Midwest. If you take a look at the papers just in the last couple of months alone, you'll see some of these realities. March 22nd from the Telegraph Herald. New population figures. While Dubuque County increases, yay, an opportunity, our neighboring counties are losing population. And this is true all across Iowa when you look at rural counties. Really, our population is relatively flat as a state. April 11th from the Des Moines Register. Iowa's people shortage is bad for business, and immigrants can be part of a solution. Again, both a challenge and an opportunity as it relates to immigration reform, which we still haven't achieved and we're still waiting on to see how that plays out. Something day to day we have very little influence over. April 1st from the Wall Street Journal. State can't find enough trainees for its programs. I know our partners at our local colleges here today can relate to that. They have capacity, they can do more, they can train more people. And from that same article, if every unemployed person in the Midwest was placed into an open job, there would still be more than 180,000 unfilled positions. This is according to the most recent census data. So if we are still in the mindset that the unemployed are our largest market for talent, we're misguided. You're used to us talking about unprecedented job growth in Dubuque County. Thanks to many of the strong employers in this room, that's been our experience. We've outpaced other metros in the state since the recession. And while we're still growing, that growth has moderated considerably, from about 2.6% annually to less than 0.5% in this most recent year. Hindered by, of course, lack of workforce. Our employers tell us we want to grow, we want to expand, we can't get the people to be able to help us do that. During the same time period, poverty has also risen in both our county and the city to 12% in the county and 16% in the city, according to the most recent census estimates. During this time, wage growth has also been flat, about 0.4%, according to a study of all national metros. Despite this, we have seen impactful growth in median household income in Dubuque County And all indicators are pointing to 2018 being a year of significant wage growth for employees, especially at entry-level positions. I'm sure many of you in this room can attest to the fact that you have raised wages for your entry-level workforce, if not across the board. In a nutshell, this chart in front of you depicts what we are facing. The blue line is our declining projected workforce population if all things stay the same over the next decade. The gray line is the labor force. As we know, not everybody of working age is in the labor market. What's interesting about Iowa is we have one of the highest participation rates in the country. So more people in Iowa of working age work than almost anywhere else. We have more two-person working households than almost anywhere else in the country. So that participation rate is actually pretty strong. And then the orange line is projected job growth. This is what our employers are saying they want to do. This is how they want to add jobs to our economy. So our marching orders are really to ease that narrowing gap in any way we can by attracting new people to our area. And that includes our college students. They are new people to the area, and we have to continue to look at them that way. Retaining people here, retaining working age population, retaining young professionals, and also training the people in our economy who are still unaligned for the jobs that we need. There is still a training and skills gap that we're facing for the population that lives here as well. A lot of times at this presentation, I give you a lot of data. I give you a lot of numbers from what we're hearing, what we're learning, what we're seeing. I'm not going to do that today, but I want you to rest assured that we do vigilantly track the data, both about workforce and about our community. Workforce development is absolutely about community development. It's about transportation. It's about childcare. It's about training and education. And we look at data constantly, monthly, sometimes weekly, that helps us understand the situation that we're living in here in Dubuque and helps us identify solutions and underlying causes. We also look at our solutions to assess if they're working. So all of our partners who we work with and the partners who we fund report back to us, and we double down on those solutions that are working, and we pull back on those that aren't. So I'm not going to get into the data today, but thank you to all of you in the room that are part of that data through our HR Action Program. We look forward to continuing to work with you, and your participation in that program is absolutely critical for us to know if what we're doing is resonating. Today you're going to hear a little snapshot about a variety of our programs that we think are impactful, either our programs or programs of our partners, some of whom are here with us today. One of those programs is Opportunity Dubuque. This is a job training program administered by Northeast Iowa Community College and partially funded by our Dubuque Works Collaborative. Dubuque Works is our community workforce initiative funded by the generous support of our city, our county, and the Dubuque Racing Association. If you're not familiar with Opportunity Dubuque, you should be. And if you're wondering if it's for you, let me give you some insight into who this program serves. If you need entry-level workers with some basic skill or training, but not necessarily a degree in any industry. I used to list all the industries, but that list has grown, and really the sky's the limit. If you have an entry-level niche that you want to train workforce for, Opportunity Dubuque can come up with a solution to do that for you. If you're experiencing soft skill challenges with your workforce, especially at that entry level, if you want to develop a custom training program for your field, where you're saying, you know, what we do is so unique, I don't see how this program is going to help us, talk to us. I'll connect you with the staff at Northeast Iowa Community College, and we can see if there's something that can be developed. If you believe your employee retention could benefit from a more intensive onboarding program, if you're losing most of your people within the first year, that's an opportunity to use onboarding and training with your entry-level staff to hopefully increase that retention. We continue to fund this program because it works. and it is not at capacity. It is harder and harder to get individuals into the training program. Since 2012, the program has graduated 527 individuals with skills that are needed in our economy for immediate employment. 91% are employed. That's a huge number. If you think about individuals with multiple barriers that are coming from that underemployed pool, 91% unemployment rate is unbelievable. And an additional 5% actually choose to continue their education after the success they experience. I'd like to tell you about one of the program's graduates, Jasmine. Jasmine, a lifelong Dubuquer and mother of 2 young daughters, was raised in our foster care system. After trying to make ends meet by working part-time jobs, Jasmine realized she needed stable and well-paying employment to care for her family. She learned about Opportunity Dubuque and the 4-month training programs offered and contacted the college to enroll. She earned a welding basic certificate and in February was hired at Midas as a full-time general service technician. She uses her welding skills nearly every day to repair and fuse car mufflers for customers. Quote, the Opportunity Dubuque program and Northeast Iowa Community College taught me that there are more things to do with your life than random jobs to make ends meet. The college really cares about you as a student. They do not set you up for failure, and they want you to succeed, says Jasmine. She plans to enroll in the college's full-year welding diploma program next year to develop her professional skills further and continue to move up the career ladder in our community. Thanks to Jasmine and NACC for sharing her story with us. This is a program that changes lives, one person at a time, but it's also a win for employers. Eagle Point Solar reached out to me in late 2017 to discuss one thing, their unprecedented growth. After the initial meeting, we signed them up as an investor in Access Dubuque Jobs to recruit talent from the area and set up a meeting with staff at NACC to discuss development of a solar installer certificate through Opportunity Dubuque. Within a matter of weeks, not months, weeks, the program was ready to go. Since that time, when it launched in February, the program has proved successful. According to Randy Ambrosi, Eagle Point Solar Vice President of Operations, we trained 6 new installers. The mix of classroom theory and hands-on training was a perfect balance to get the hires ready to dive in and begin on-the-job training. No one had solar experience, so the program provided the basics to make them a valuable member of the crew on their first day. To date, Eagle Point Solar has hired 12 new employees and confident they'll add 10 more to the team. The solar installer program can now run on an on-demand basis through NACC, and other employers could access that curriculum as well for their own companies. So can we just have a thank you to NACC for their flexibility and agility? We don't often think about higher education as fast, but whenever we partner in our local community, the staff are phenomenal, they make things happen, and we meet the needs of employers as quickly as possible. In addition to our partnership with NACC, we work hard to connect employers with all of our regional colleges and universities and those outside our region, as well as our K-12 students. Again, this is our biggest untapped pipeline. It's not the unemployed population anymore. It is the future. It's the future talent who's coming up and is going to be ready to take jobs. And maybe are ready to take jobs now on a part-time or an internship basis. It's more critical than ever for employers to engage with students because other communities are, other employers are, and they're coming in and they're meeting with our students and offering them jobs. And I want to make sure our students know that we have opportunities for them here and that we're offering them those opportunities so they can make a decision knowing that they don't have to leave. Every college student we retain is the equivalent of recruiting a newcomer to our community. And we have a better chance of doing that by offering them a job here doing something they love than somebody who's never heard of Dubuque and trying to get them to move here. Developing a student outreach plan is critical for your business. If you hire any skilled positions that require education and training from one of our local providers, or a college or university outside of our market. If you want to connect to those 55% of students who tell us, I might stay in Dubuque, maybe, this is your opportunity to do so. And if you want to compete for those 20% of college students that tell us when we talk with them, yes, we're going to stay here, this is your opportunity to do so. If you offer career paths for high school students or college graduates that include tuition reimbursement and professional development for them to continue their skills, there's opportunities for you to reach out and connect with them. To get you started on the college recruitment side, because it can be daunting, many of our HR and recruiting offices are extremely small. Many of our companies don't have that capacity in place currently. It's a lot of work. We have a lot of colleges and universities. We have a lot of students to connect with. We put together a college employer connection guide last year to help employers kind of develop a blueprint for how to get started if they don't have this program in place. This has been downloaded hundreds of times since from our website, and our college career offices report increased contacts from employers since last year. We are working on a 2018 update, and that guide will be available in the coming weeks. I'll put a link to it in my newsletter, Finders of Keepers. If you haven't signed up for that newsletter, you can do so through our website. Also in that newsletter, I share a lot of information about college career fairs, other events, and opportunities to connect with students in our market. So please consider signing up for that as well. When employers talk to me about the tight labor market, I always ask if they've reached out to Iowa Vocational Rehabilitation Services or Voc Rehab, one of our Dubuque Works partners. The resources and applicant pool they can provide is phenomenal. Iowa Voc Rehab can help your company by connecting you with their pool of ready-to-work clients based on the skill sets you need. They will pre-screen applicants for you and connect you with individuals they think have the ability to work in the job description you've put forward. They can explain how you can take advantage of federal and state tax credits for hiring Voc Rehab clients, provide free training on specific disabilities as well as sensitivity training, consult with you on workflow design and ADA assessments to accommodate individuals with disabilities, even offer risk-free on-the-job trials of candidates to see if they're a good fit with your company before you hire, reimburse 50% of wages when you hire and train a Voc Rehab client for up to 8 weeks, and provide an on-the-site job coach after hire for as long as you require support. We've recognized that on-job site coaches are a deficit in our workforce model, especially even individuals coming out of Opportunity Dubuque that have faced many barriers. And this is a great resource to have someone come on the job until that employee is completely onboarded and check in with you as the employer. Their staff will work with you one-on-one to develop the best partnership for your unique business. Many employers have taken advantage of this, but they're a state agency. They're not out marketing these services. So that's our job, is to try to make sure you're aware of this opportunity and to help you connect with them if you haven't yet. I'd like to tell you about one success story from our community in working with Voc Rehab. Melissa is a Dubuque community credit employee. I know we have some Dubuque people here today, and she's also a Voc Rehab client for nearly a decade now. A client of Voc Rehab since 2009, Melissa was diagnosed with hearing loss at age 5, which grew increasingly worse throughout high school and into college. With advocacy, classroom accommodations, and financial assistance from Voc Rehab, Melissa moved to Dubuque and began the marketing program at the University of Dubuque in 2014. She also began working part-time for Dubuque at that time. Voc Rehab was able to work collaboratively with Melissa, the university, and Dubuque to accommodate Melissa's disability and ensure she could continue her education and employment through graduation. She did graduate with a 4.0 in May of 2016. In early 2016, as she neared graduation, she considered accepting another job offer, but ultimately decided that an employer who looked beyond her disability, accommodated it, and looked at her strengths and what she could bring to the table was where she would be the happiest, and she stuck with Dubuque. In the time since, Melissa has undergone 2 surgeries for cochlear implants with great success, and she continues to work at Dubuque as a valued member of their marketing team. Voc Rehab is looking to close her file soon, but she knows if she or Dubuque need any assistance to ensure her continued success, they are there for her. I think that's a great story and a great testament to the partnerships that we have in the room. Thank you to the University of Dubuque, Dubuque, and Iowa Voc Rehab for stories like Melissa, so many of which we have in our community. Our unemployed population cite disability as the #1 reason they aren't employed. They're also the population most desiring to be reemployed. So again, if you aren't connecting with this resource, it's a great opportunity for you. And also individuals with disabilities experience often you will experience higher retention rates as an employer and more loyalty too. Access to Dubuque jobs. There are over 100 of you in the room today and 180 Access to Dubuque jobs investors at last count. So I hope I'm speaking to the choir here. But if you aren't yet utilizing this community resource, cited by job seekers in our labor shed as their go-to for jobs in the Dubuque area, and by HR as their best resource for quality applicants, please consider participating. Yes, there's a cost associated. In fact, it's our only solution with a price tag. But I think you'll find it a cost-effective opportunity to build your company's employee brand and message, both in Dubuque and in regional metros where we market the product. We often don't bat an eye at the cost of recruiting customers, but too often we take for granted that job seekers know who we are as employers and know what great opportunities we offer. The truth is, many potential employees, especially our college students and individuals outside our market, have no idea. They don't know who we are, they don't know what great jobs we offer, they don't know the career and advancement paths we offer, and we have to continually tell them. You never know who's looking on what day. If we aren't consistently telling them that message and who we are, we're missing an opportunity that other communities are doing. We share this site with every veteran who comes to us through Home Base Iowa and expresses interest in Iowa or Dubuque. We share it with every college student we meet with at presentations, leaders' luncheon events, or through our career service offices who promote the site on their own websites for students as well. And every job seeker who we encounter one-on-one, whether they're relocating with a spouse or find us on their own. The site has experienced 21% investor growth in 3 years, and what we offer is unique. It's a local, customer-oriented approach you won't get somewhere else. We will help you draft postings. We will help you develop a digital post that we can share. We will help you promote your career events and your open houses and reach an audience using Google and Facebook with a local touch. We're here, Anna, myself, Joan Schuster in the back. You can call us anytime if you feel that you're not getting the reach, and we will troubleshoot that and see what we can do. The biggest problem we see, investors who don't maximize the use of the site or those who haven't tried it out at all. If you'd like some assistance on how you might be able to maximize your use of Access to Dubuque jobs, don't hesitate to reach out. Our Dubuque Works partners, HR advisory partners, and partners in the site, the Telegraph Herald, are consistently providing feedback and enhancing the reach and communication of the site for employers and job seekers. Instead of just taking my word for it, I wanted to spotlight a few of our investors from a variety of industries who have experienced success utilizing Access to Dubuque jobs. Newcomer Services. According to Carla, their new Vice President of Human Resources, Stonehill has experienced great success in using Access to Dubuque jobs to find candidates to join our organization, to serve our residents, and meet our workforce needs. Access to Dubuque jobs provides an avenue for education about Stonehill, why candidates should join Stonehill, and our job openings. This tool makes it easy for candidates to find out about opportunities in our community. I recently joined Stonehill and first learned of the opening on Access to Dubuque jobs. I love how Carla and Stonehill list job openings as actually her last use. So you can see she's using it to talk about her company. She's using it to tell the story of why Stonehill is a great place to work. and draw candidates in, and the job openings come secondary. And I think that's important to keep in mind, that you're really doing is building up that pipeline, building up that story about who you are as an employer. And Medline, a company, congratulations to Medline. We've all seen the articles about the huge growth that they're experiencing. According to Vice President Renee Poppy, we're proud that we have chosen to use Access to Dubuque Jobs as our primary recruiting tool for more than 10 years. This relationship and platform has been vital to Medline's growth and our success in the Dubuque market. And Green Industrial Supply. As our main means of recruitment, AccessToDubuqueJobs.com continues to provide us with quality candidates for all of our open positions. Not only does the site make it easy for us to post positions in a timely manner, it also makes it easy for candidates to apply directly through the website. We rely on Access to Dubuque Jobs to help provide our #1 resource, our employees. I'd like to just thank all of our investors in the room today who make Access to Dubuque Jobs successful. This tool is only as successful as the people we have using it, and the greater concentration of employers we have, the more jobs that we can share with job seekers who come to us looking for opportunities. So thanks to all of our investors in the room. I'd now like to introduce our partner at the Telegraph Herald, Mike Fortman, up to talk further about recent enhancements to the site.
I'm not a stand behind the podium guy, so we'll try it this way. First of all, how about a big round of applause for the folks at GDDC? They are doing an incredible job at workforce. What a great team, and at the Telegraph Herald, we are very, very proud to be partners with the folks at the GDDC. And the thing that I love about the partnership that we have and what we're doing with Access to Dubuque Jobs is it's not a destination, it is a journey. Every month, Joan and Cindy and Matt Conley and myself meet with Kristen and Emily and Rick about, and I'm sure Anna as we move forward, and talk about what's working, what's not working, what we can do to improve it, and how we can better market it. So I just want to share a few things that are going on with Access to Dubuque Jobs. Some user growth stats. We're up to, our email signups are up 250% over last year. That being individuals who are looking for jobs that have signed up to receive email notifications when jobs of interest are out there for them. 241 people are now receiving text message alerts. So right to their phone or mobile device of some sort, they're getting text messages that say when jobs of interest have been posted on Access to Dubuque Jobs. We've been highlighting 3 categories for that service to this point: the health category, IT, and manufacturing. And what's pretty cool is we're averaging about 25 new signups per month just for the text messaging service. Just recently we opened up all other categories. So now we've gone past the testing phase of the 3 categories, and now all categories on Access to Dubuque Jobs are available for texting. On 4/23, so this week, we sent out an invitation to job seekers for email and text sign up. We sent out about 9,000 emails to people who may have an interest in that service, and so far we've had about a 20% open rate, which is pretty cool. We're also in the exploratory and planning stages to develop a consumer-facing promotional campaign to get more people involved in receiving notifications both through email and text messaging. Something we just launched here in December is ongoing employer surveys of expired job listings on Access to Dubuque Jobs. So far we've had 450 HR individuals who have responded to the surveys. 22.5% of the people in responses said that the positions were filled either through accessdubukejobs.com or internally. 29% said that they were filled in other ways, and 30% said the position is still open. And I want to talk a little bit about an update that we did. Jobs are now fed into Google directly as you search into Google. So here's a sample of searching for jobs in Dubuque. At the very top are the paid positions, and accessdubukejobs.com is in the second position there. There's now a widget that comes up between the paid search and the free search that shows actual jobs in Dubuque. And as you can see, you probably can't read them, couldn't read them before I was sitting. But the first two jobs that pop up are Access Dubuque jobs, and then you can click on View More and see more jobs in Dubuque. So we think that's a pretty exciting enhancement. And then we've also changed the sort order for search results. We're now searching so that the newest jobs show up first versus best match, because for best match, you had to pretty much hit the position right on to get a result. So if you were looking for, I don't know, Doctor of Physical Therapy, you had to type in Doctor of Physical Therapy versus Physical Therapist. And just a few upcoming changes we're looking at. This is kind of a big one. We're getting a lot of requests from investors who indicate that it'd really be nice if we could just take the information that's on our internal job posting sites and move it directly to Access Dubuque Jobs without having to do any manual labor. So we're working on creating a standard import to pull from our investors' own sites and move it into accessdubukejobs.com. And we're currently testing that with 2 of our investors and hope to be rolling that out to everybody very, very soon. We spent a significant amount of time talking about that about a week ago with our monthly meetings. So that is what's going on with accessdubukejobs.com. We're very, very grateful for, as Kristen mentioned, the 180 investors that we have in Access Dubuque Jobs. We appreciate the confidence you have in this service, not only from an online standpoint, but we also appreciate from the Telegraph Herald standpoint the confidence that you have in running your employment ads in the printed pages of our paper. So with that, I will turn it back over to Kristen.
Okay, I'm going to stay right here behind the podium. Thank you, Mike, and thanks to the Telegraph Herald. I'd like to give a thank you to Matt Conley as well, who is our IT guru person we call to answer all these questions that I don't know the answers to. He really does a lot of work for us and puts forth a lot of effort. You guys have heard him here at this breakfast speak many times. He wasn't able to join us this morning, but just wanted to acknowledge his work as well. The last part of our presentation today delves into a topic that affects all of us, even if we've lived here our whole lives. Our Newcomer Service program isn't something we see as an add-on or just a nice touch or something to do if maybe we get around to it or if it's a really high-level candidate. But this is something we see as absolutely critical to recruiting talent from outside the area, as well as our college students. We hear a lot on the news about job growth and job creation, but as we discussed today, our community's greatest challenge is actually the competition for talent. I hesitate to use the metaphor of a war for talent, but it's certainly about guerrilla recruiting right now, and that means our entire community must have its best foot forward every time we host a college student, host their families, host a tourist, an intern, or a job candidate. We know our Newcomer Services land recruits and retain employees and their families in Dubuque. Let's start with a story from a newcomer we recently served, Heather Satterley. Heather told us, I moved to Dubuque in December to pursue a position as the AmeriCorps program director with the city. I've moved for work several times, but none has been as easy as my move to Dubuque. After my interview, a community tour was scheduled for me to attend. The tour was amazing. In less than 2 hours, I learned quite a bit about Dubuque's history, culture, and recreational opportunities, and was able to see just how beautiful the city was in late fall. Once I moved to Dubuque, I was encouraged by my supervisor to attend the Distinctively Dubuque course. I was able to take this course just 3 weeks after arriving in Dubuque. Every session was informational and engaging. This course is a great way to engage newcomers in the community, especially in the winter when the weather makes you want to stay indoors. After only being here for 3 months, I feel more of a part of this community than any other place I have ever relocated to. What I love about Heather's story is how her employer, the city of Dubuque, was her partner in making these experiences a reality. It's one thing when we hand someone a brochure and then tell them about this. It's another thing when their employer sets up a tour for them, encourages them to attend the class, and really nudges them to participate in these events. Our newcomer services include the community tour, concierge services, a Thrive relocation guide, which is currently being redesigned and should roll out in the next month or two, our relocation website, a quarterly rental database that we update and maintain, and the Distinctively Dubuque class. We believe every employer in our community can benefit from these services as they recruit and retain workforce, even if the employee you hire hasn't moved to the area specifically for your job. If they're new to the community, we want to welcome them and connect with them no matter how they arrived. We encourage you to reach out to us early in the process from the time you have an out-of-area prospect so we can partner to provide them with community information and help move that prospect to a hire or move that new hire to a permanent resident in our community. And don't leave your interns out either. Anna and I are happy to come provide intern presentations to a cohort of interns or even meet one-on-one with interns you are hosting. Again, we hope those interns have a good experience in Dubuque and consider making that their home or consider relocating to the area at some point in their career. Since July, we have provided 98 community tours from our 3 tour guides with 24 unique employers in Dubuque. We keep them pretty busy. Again, I'd like to recognize our fabulous tour guides, Nelson Clavitter and Renee Meyer, and Chris Apple, who's not here today. They are really our ambassadors to the community. They always report back to us with valuable information for us that, hey, maybe you should follow up with this person about the schools, or they're really into golf and maybe you can connect them with some more information about that. And we do so. So it's really an ongoing conversation, and they're our first ambassador with that newcomer. Each community tour lasts about 90 minutes and covers major neighborhoods, including the Port of Dubuque, Cable Car Square, Main Street, the Millwork District, the North End, the Grandview District, the West End, Miller Riverview Park, and our industrial and tech parks. We focus on community amenities as well as the personal interests of the candidate. So if you schedule a tour, we'll often ask you, are they bringing a family with them? What do they like to do? Where are they moving from? And then we can tailor the experience to that person. Each candidate leaves the tour with a packet of information about the community, including a real estate guide, rental database, our Thrive relocation guide, the Travel Dubuque magazine, Dubuque 365, and more for them to review with their families. In fall of 2017, we received a request for a candidate for the FlexSteel CFO position, Marcus Hamilton, his wife Jennifer, and their sons. The Hamilton family has now indeed made Dubuque their home, and Jennifer reached out shortly after the tour with a personal note of thanks to our tour guide, Renee. I asked Jennifer if she would allow us to share her family's experience today, and she graciously agreed. Our experience with the services of Greater Dubuque Development far surpassed our expectations. Prior to our visit, we had never been to Iowa, let alone knew anything about Dubuque. Having had this experience was at the forefront of our decision to relocate from out of state and pursue a career opportunity here. Renee was an amazing guide and ambassador of the city that our family now calls home. She showed us all that Dubuque has to offer downtown as well as the surrounding areas. She included all the necessities one would look for, as well as the many hidden gems we would never have found on our own. When it comes to relocation, the company and job are only half of the decision. The other half is knowing if you can make the new location a home for your family. It was truly eye-opening how much Dubuque has to offer for families. Without the services of the tour, we would not have known a fraction of what we learned from Renee about Dubuque to make our decision. In the coming months, we look forward to taking advantage of the newcomer class once we are settled in, thus giving us an opportunity to meet other newcomers and further deep dive into all that is Dubuque. Marcus and Jennifer Hamilton. Thanks to the Hamilton family for sharing that story, and especially thanks to them for choosing Dubuque. But I think what you heard there was the job's only half of it. It's only half of the decision. The other half is this a place you want to live? Is this a place you want to bring your kids to? Is this a place where you feel like you can make friends and participate in the same hobbies you've participated in other places? Whenever we interact with newcomers through the tour or a phone call, we always encourage them to sign up for Distinctively Dubuque. This is our free newcomer program in partnership with Northeast Iowa Community College. Each of the 5 evening sessions of the class provide attendees with an opportunity for fun, networking, and information about the community, from history to the arts to recreation and even the local food scene. Distinctively Dubuque consistently is rated a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 by participants who often tell us, "I can't believe you offer a free class like this." In the last 4 sessions since July, we've served 114 newcomers from 42 unique employers, as well as retirees and stay-at-home parents. Georgia White, a product engineer who recently relocated from North Carolina, took the program and shared the following with us. As someone who has moved around quite a bit, I've never encountered a program like Distinctively Dubuque. Integrating into a new community can be challenging, as it can be difficult to try to foster new relationships, find the good restaurants, and achieve the right work-life balance. Having that 3-hour commitment on a Wednesday night kept me accountable and gave me a reason to get out and learn more about the community. I looked forward to trying new cuisines and truly enjoyed experiencing a few of the cultural treasures Dubuque has to offer. I made wonderful friendships with others new to Dubuque, and we continue to meet weekly and explore what our new home has to offer. They continue to meet weekly. That makes me smile because this is really the level of connection that we know will help us retain talent in Dubuque. We've unfortunately heard the other side too, where we've heard stories of people that, we hear someone's leaving because they just never connected or integrated into the community. So when we hear stories like Georgia's, we know we're on the right track. This past year, we added a focus group component to the Distinctively Dubuque class. We realized that our connection to newcomers is a valuable resource for information for us about how to improve our community and how to make the experience better and how to make sure we're offering what people want in the community. Through 4 to 5 questions, we provide the class with an interactive activity to help give us open-ended information about their experience. It's really a conversation with the class. Tell us what you like, tell us what you miss, tell us what you wish we were doing differently. And we assure them that they're going to be listened to, that we're going to share their responses with all of you, we're going to share them with city leaders, and we do. So, what do they like most about Dubuque? With nods toward everything from the library to the Millwork District to the Riverwalk, the top 4 responses revolve around our outdoor recreation, including our city, county, parks, and trails, the farmers market and fresh food scene, aesthetics, including the cleanliness and natural beauty of the city, and restaurants, breweries, and coffee shops. We then ask, well, what do you wish we had, or what do you miss from other places you've lived? A lot of responses are personal to the newcomer, a favorite place they had, or maybe an ultimate Frisbee league they've been a part of. And climates and landscapes that we just won't be able to offer. However, the top responses were that newcomers miss a wider variety of ethnic restaurants, a wider variety of grocery stores, recreation opportunities that are open later into the evening or even after work, and pet accommodations for everything from parks to recreational opportunities to restaurants, and an easier to navigate and friendlier rental market. Individuals who come here and buy a home have a much different experience than individuals who come here and are trying to rent a place to live. And we hear more and more struggles from renters. Reese isn't here to get beat up on parking and one-way streets. But in addition to those challenges that baffle many newcomers, the difficult social dynamic of connecting and making friends often comes up. People always remark that their first impression of Dubuque is that it's welcoming and friendly, yet they also feel it's difficult to make true and lasting friendships here. As an employer, maybe think about how your workplace culture can help further connections of new employees, even outside the office. A few noteworthy comments that stand out since we've been doing the focus groups include those before you on the screen. Individuals are often pleasantly surprised when they move here. They feel there's a lot to do, and they believe overall it's a very safe community. But they do comment on a struggle to make friends. They find Dubuque to be not very pet friendly, and childcare is a growing challenge for newcomers moving here with kids that struggle to find available daycare. We will continue to collect and share this information to develop solutions that will set Dubuque apart in the competition for talent. I'd like to close with a testimonial from our largest employer, John Deere. John Deere heavily utilizes our Newcomer Services at every level, including presentations and tours for their summer interns, which are coming up. Their HR division manager, Katie Keeker, and her team not only coordinate with us on the services, but she recently experienced them firsthand as a newcomer herself. In her words, "The workforce services provided by Greater Dubuque Development are true assets to John Deere's recruiting and onboarding efforts. Community tours are part of the interview experience when external candidates interview with John Deere, because we know that the broader community is a factor in their decision making and whether or not they accept a job offer from John Deere. The candidate may be relocating with a spouse, significant other, or family, and we want to do our best to impress upon them the wonderful amenities we offer. I've heard from many of our employees that the Distinctively Dubuque class is simply outstanding on many fronts. It helps them get socially connected with others, feel welcome in their new community, and learn about Dubuque's rich history, exciting future, and learn how to get involved. I'm very pleased and proud of the partnership John Deere has with Greater Dubuque Development." With that, I'd like to invite you to try out some of the services we discussed today. Opportunity Dubuque, a connection with Iowa Voc Rehab, expanding your college outreach, considering if you could be doing some high school outreach with students, participating in AccessDubuqueJobs.com, and utilizing our suite of newcomer services. I encourage you to try them out, push us to make them better, and continue to be a part of our community's efforts to persevere in turning the curve on a difficult workforce landscape. You can keep in touch again through our newsletter, Finders of Keepers, or also just give Anna or I a call. We're happy to sit down with anyone and talk about how we might integrate some of our solutions into what you do. I'd now like to invite Rick back up to close.
Thank you, Kristen. Great job. Senator Bowman's here, and he would know that when you're in the Iowa legislature and you want to make a point that maybe is related but not right, not part of the conversation at the time, you stand up, you raise your microphone, you say, "I'd like to make a point of personal privilege." And I'd like to do that right now. Just a couple of things. First of all, if you tell me something's public, or if it is public, guess what? I'm going to make it real public. First of all, I don't know how many of you realize that one of our fantastic tour guides, Renee Meyer, is Kristen's mom. How tremendously proud you must be right now as a parent to see that. See that kind of talent, that kind of commitment to our community. I'm a parent too. Congratulations, Renee. What a job. And I'd like to acknowledge the success of one of our staff's families in really addressing the population issue and talent issue here in Dubuque. I didn't mention this tremendous staff we have at Greater Dubuque Development. This person initially, Karen Kleesner, who's our Vice President of Operations. Karen and her husband Steve have announced that their daughter Chelsea and son-in-law Billy are having a baby. In fact, they're having 2 babies. So Karen, who works 60 plus hours a week, I think when that grandma thing comes around, we better get as much out of her between now and November 1st as possible. So congratulations to the Kleesners. I'd also like to make mention of a group that is newly organized as part of Greater Dubuque Development Corporation, and Kristen Dietzel heads up that group. It's the Future Leadership Team. It's an attempt by our Board of Directors to really broaden the scope of Greater Dubuque Development Corporation beyond the Board of Directors, the Board of 42 members. And the leadership team of 31 members are the young, bright talent that's coming up in our community. And Kristen is staffing that. They meet on a quarterly basis. In fact, the last meeting a few weeks back, the focus was on workforce. It's a tremendous resource for us to get input from the community, from that talent that really is experiencing Dubuque through new eyes, and we greatly appreciate that. I think there are a couple folks from the leadership team here with us today. Would you please stand up if you are, please? Please stand up. Let's give these folks a hand. Thank you very much for your service. So, Kristen gave you the list of things to do. You're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. The solution was listed. Use it. Critique it. Make it stronger. Make it more valuable. She gave you the hard truth, but she gave you the good news as well. We have solutions to these challenges that we face as a community, and Dubuque can do this. We always have. Ever since we hit rock bottom in the early 80s, this community said, we're never going to be that again. We don't have to be that again. We can work together. We can think about what are the issues. We can understand the data. We can try bold things, and we can work together and marshal our resources to be effective. So let's do that again. Be a part of AccessDubuqueJobs.com. Kristen mentioned it's the only thing we charge. Guess what? It pays for everything else. So even if you have no intention of hiring anyone forever, which we of course know is not the case, know that being a part of AccessDubuqueJobs.com gives us the resources to be what? A successful community. Be part of the solution. Before we break, we'd be glad to answer any questions you have. We have a portable mic here. If you put your hand up, we'll get that mic to you. So, any questions before we break this morning? Any pregnancy announcements? On behalf of the Board of Directors of Greater Dubuque Development Corporation, our investors, and this most wonderful staff that you and I have the pleasure of working with, thank you for joining us today. God bless you. Let's be successful in Dubuque.